the Academy's done some things. Quite a big one in that it'll make. How the hell we're gonna do that? Where we're gonna be reacting on the same bloody platform? However that works. Is that gonna be like picture in picture? But we'll get to that. Anyway, uh, Owen, AJ, and myself are here, and yeah, I guess we could talk about some. I don't want to say state of the race stuff, but sort of like other stuff associated with it. Other than, I guess the thing that I teased there, the fact that in what 3 years' time, at least in terms of award cycle, the Oscars is moving to YouTube for free.
Yeah, I didn't really actually have much of a thought about that yet. There was something else on my mind. That's why I paused for a second. That's in this same vein.
Oh yeah.
First of all, I was thinking the change of whatever was much sooner than this. Is it still ABC until this change? And what was it, 2029 or something?
Yeah. So the
Yeah, I was thinking the change
awards,
is going to be like
the
a lot
hundred,
sooner.
so the 100th Oscars will, in theory, be the last on ABC.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if it's gonna go out on 100, that's a good idea. If we can't get around this internet taking over the world situation, then no one watching television situation, because television is a dead technology. Like someday soon, TikTok will be. Needless, when they move on to the next platform, I 100 is a good round number to end on. So hopefully this will be hopefully the best Oscar ceremony we've had in recent memory. But now I say that, it's probably just going to be a bunch of things that
Also, the interesting thing as
don't say.
well from that sort of stuff, from what I can tell from it, is the implication is the Governor's Awards might actually be streamed live. So some
Hmm.
of those, honorary Oscars we'll actually get to see rather than here's a video package that's either uploaded to YouTube or is played during the ceremony as it currently is. So
I'm curious because I kind of saw something alluding to this, but I don't know how much they'd go for. Are we under the impression that that would probably make them at least a little more uncensored?
I would say so. It kind of
possibly,
happens.
yeah.
Because I know YouTube is still a little fickle about that, but it would give them more reign than ABC, I imagine.
For sure.
It's like when everybody at SAG was realizing they could drop F bombs because it was Netflix, and the and the fun we had with that.
Yeah.
Um, the thing that was on my mind that I wasn't even sure if I wanted to ask this because I don't want it to come off insensitive. It's something I'm genuinely wondering about, and maybe it's too soon to wonder about this. Like I said, I want to make sure I don't want this to come off like insensitive in any way. It's just something I'm like genuinely thinking about. Um, Given recent events, is anybody betting on Conan dropping out?
I would say he's going to do everything he can to keep it in, but I truly believe that it's possible that he may end up having to change his mind at the last minute because he just can't do it. I hope
If
that doesn't happen because you didn't get to see a proper Conan hosted program, but I understand the reasoning he has to back out if he has to.
I if that's what happens, we don't really know if that's the case at all.
Sure,
Because obviously he hasn't spoken since any of this. We're just hearing everything secondhand now.
certainly.
Um, I honestly wouldn't mind if he had to, or decided he was going to, that if they just tried going hostless again, because that actually has worked fine when they've done it. But yeah, that's something I was kind of curious about with all the recent stuff.
I mean, for the most part, award shows in general could go hostless if they really wanted to.
And I'm not even saying that Conan did anything wrong. I'm just saying it being in that room does feel like it'd be a massive elephant in the room.
Right.
Because this is enough of a shock to Hollywood that I imagine that'll still be in the air in a couple months' time.
Oh, 1,000,000%. It's not going away anytime soon. And it shouldn't.
I hate that my mind went to, oh, is he still going to host the Oscars or not? But it's
Yeah.
just it is something it's something that occurred to me is what I'm saying.
No, for sure. For everything that sort of, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be. To be honest, it's sort of either way. I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to sort of do it because obviously his is going to be one of the key spotlights during the in memoriam section as well.
Of course.
Whether it will open or close, I don't know.
It's getting insane because in any other year the closer would be Redford, and in any other year the closer would be Diane Keaton, and in any other year the closer would be Reiner.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget. What was the other? I was trying to think. They're sort of showing a fair few films. Like, I think the irony is they basically, the day after all that happened, I think
Where's my
Spinal Tap was on or something. One of the sort of Rob Reiner. Oh no, this I think for Christmas Day, going into the sort of Boxing Day, so 25th to the 26th, they're showing When Harry Met Sally. That was already scheduled sort of anyway, but like weirdly that's sort of very timely. But then, as I'll briefly go to chat because where is it? Yeah, Josie does mention Rob Reiner's Sure Thing as a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, we'll see how sort of that feels itself over the upcoming weeks. We also had news that Harrison Ford will be getting the Life Achievement Award at the Actors Awards.
So it's, I brought this up to AJ, and AJ may be the only, unless I'm sure Brian and Josie may know it as well. I'm sure Brian does if he's watching for a long time. Harrison Ford's an interesting thing with me. It's not like the Ed Harris selling oranges on the side of the road in California joke, but Harrison Ford, Air Force One, a movie that I don't really have much anything for. There was a throwaway joke that Eddie Griffin did, which called him Air Force Harrison. It's in his comedy movie Foolish. After seeing Eddie Griffin and checking him off the comedian's bucket list a few months ago, I can never hear Harrison Ford's name again without being like, "Aw, lost opportunity." But I had to bring that up because obviously it's me talking about it.
It's the only Oscar video in the history of YouTube that will mention Foolish. So
Hey, give me time. I'll mention CB4 too.
So one thing to
I
mention.
mean,
Oh, go ahead.
Chris Rock is somebody that's much more relevant to the Oscars, so CB4 would make more sense in
And
a
another person
roundabout
I
way.
got to see live, actually.
Very true.
So it ties in both ways.
Uh, the other thing that we'll we'll keep our eye on, but it's whether it's something eventually that might get involved in our predictions. Maybe from next year, I don't know. We'll have to make the judgment call on it. But we obviously this week also had the USC Scripter nominations revealed.
The funny thing about Scripter is it seems like it's like the most consolation prize of consolation prizes. Almost everything's ineligible, and usually the winner is not beating something that it's going to have to face later on. So tells us absolutely nothing about the screenplay race.
Other than like half the stuff that makes it in there doesn't make it in for WGA. That's the only sort of hint.
Right. Normally that's correct.
Quite an interesting list though this year because we have Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Peter Hudger's Day, and Train Dreams.
I know a lot of people seem pretty convinced, and everything seems to be going for, and people in the industry say really great things about it. But prediction wise, I still really don't know what to do with Frankenstein. For me, it's like the first one outside of many categories. I'm
Yeah.
curious what actually happens to it.
Yeah, I mean, its strength right now seems to be just basically Jacob Elordi. Then you had that off nomination for Oscar Isaac. Del Toro's starting to get buzz. And obviously, it's going to do really decently in the tech categories, as we'll get to in a little bit. But presumably, because I haven't seen the list yet. But I'm not sure about it being a major contender. I guess I just have to like sit down and look at these short lists and try to figure out Monday, get ready, that what I'm going to do with Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how much we should show our hand here before we actually do that prediction video. 'Cause I was about to say something else pretty revealing about where my mind is. Since we're kind of in adapted screenplay territory in this conversation.
I mean, obviously, I say I'm the biggest Sing Sing mark on the channel overall. But I never thought about Train Dreams being a contender for screenplay, and every day I feel like it's getting more and more likely it's going to happen. Which upsets me, of course, because I can't see the movie.
Yeah.
And I've told you, as somebody that has known you and your movie taste for as long as I have, I am already absolutely convinced that you're not even going to like Train Dreams.
Probably not, but it's something I have to watch. Theoretically.
So before we get to the comments and before we get to the actual topic and the title of this video,
Nice.
AJ, can we get some clarification on what the hell we started with?
Are you talking about the incredible Christmas card I received from my wonderful friend in Canada?
Yep.
Woohoo!
Well, the great thing about it is I get cards from her for my birthday and Christmas, and they're usually like themed. And I just was not expecting this one, which is what you just saw. And I love the idea of people maybe seeing this out of context, not just for the image itself, but I'll try to cover up everything else. But the message she wrote at the top was, "Don't let a semen demon find you in 2026." So if you have not seen the future Best Picture winner, and that makes absolutely no sense to you, uh, I can't say anything.
It's
It's
on
like literally the
premium
last scene ever.
VOD. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's on HBO Max now, I think.
And you can go to a
So
theater, you lazy bastard.
a week ago today, that's where I was. That's why this video got pushed.
I know that. I'm very happy for you being able to see it.
So yeah, I was saying, are we gonna go off on another one about after another thing here? That seems like the proper segue.
Seems like it.
Because I was saying in our last video, that I feel like that's one of those movies that's gonna keep growing on me the more I see it.
Sure.
Because we talk about the example I always use is The Social Network.
That's a great example for you.
Because Owen is appalled because have you outed I think you've outed plenty of times that it's your favorite movie of the year right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I literally went from one Bob to another. Don't forget that. That was the joke.
And I was saying that I love it, but I didn't think it had cracked my top five, which I don't know because I have no idea what my top five is yet. I know like what movies are probably in there, but I don't know the order or anything like that. Um, so I was telling Owen that it kind of reminds me of The Social Network, I think, where when I first saw, I liked One Bad After Another the first time I saw it, but the first time I saw The Social Network, it was just a lot.
Sure.
It was a lot of words happening. It was a lot of cutting back and forth in time. And we saw The Social Network at the theater 3 times.
Yes, correct.
And it took a while, but then I started watching it when I could at home. And there was like maybe a week and a half where I watched it 4 times. And and I couldn't stop going back to it. And it's like I really feel like that's the kind of the vibe I get from one bad after another. It's gonna be now that it's streaming, I'll probably just put it on whenever the vibe hits. And it's probably gonna really grow on me even more that way. It's one of those. Especially when it hits that groove in like the middle hour. And it's also really funny. We were talking about the fact that Benicio has been almost sweeping,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of crazy given that I suppose you could say he's not in it much. It feels like he's not in it much.
He's crucial, but he's not in. He doesn't have much screen time.
Yeah, he's one of those ones where he's not in it much, but his scenes are the most talked about scenes in the movie.
They're most quotable too.
And the reference that I made in the last video was the scene I kept thinking about whenever he get brought up was when he gets pulled over at the end. And what I said was, I don't even think he says anything in that scene that I can remember. Now, mind you, when I said that, the last time I had seen the movie was the end of September.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, not only does he have lines in that scene, the line, what is it, a few small beers?
That made everybody in the theater laugh hysterically.
Yeah, that's like his most quoted line now. Like, I'm seeing that everywhere. So, yeah, he definitely does.
Halloween this year.
So, yeah, so, it's yeah, I'm hoping, and I've already said that I actually don't really mind the domination that it's having right now. So, that's just I figure, pretty much in this award season, anytime one band after another gets brought up, it's going to be relevant because it's probably unless like PGA goes for Hamnet or something. I think
Not that.
I feel like everybody's in agreement that picture seems to have been decided, and probably director too. We try to make it a thing that we don't want to jump ahead because shit does happen, especially when the guilds happen. But
it is.
It does feel like there's kind of an unbeatable momentum going on right now.
Even if one battle somehow would lose picture, I think PTA is finally getting his Oscar this year. I don't think it's going to be the round. I think if one battle doesn't win both, then PTA is the least winning director, for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to discredit,
We
but
cannot frame either.
it does seem like we don't really have much of a race. And like I said, I don't know about you guys, I'm not even mad. So
No, that God, definitely not. It's making up tenfold for what I've had to deal with these last several years, in more ways than one.
because we were saying in the last video too that people are probably going to get bored of hearing its name after a while. But
And
time will be good to it because it's not a boring choice. It might be in the moment within the season, but it's a really fun choice.
like when it wins the Golden Globe, and it's like, oh my God, it's over. One battle's finished. I'm like, dude, it's the Globes. First off,
The
where's
Globes do that.
value beyond acting?
Yeah, the Globes have a tendency to kind of go a different way. So I guess of course, I think this year we're back to the old days where Critics' Choice was first, aren't we?
Well, it's our first video on Sunday. Wink, wink. So
Yeah, I want to say Critics' Choice is the fourth, and then the Globes are the following Sunday, which is the way it used to be for a long time. And then the Globes started going first. Maybe I think it was like maybe post COVID is when they got switched up, but
Golden Globes always equaled Golden Arches back in the day, and I remember it going first.
I think it was when it wasn't post COVID. It was the year where it didn't kind of happen.
Ah,
The infamous stream when myself
year I
and
was in
AJ were
California.
looking at a Twitter feed.
And I was in California. Probably riding roll.
Yeah, that would have been the 2021 season.
Yes, what a year that was.
I want to say that's when it switched.
So we were gonna talk about Hamnet.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about Hamnet, Owen?
I've seen it twice now. I have a very disfigured relationship with Chloe Zhao because of her documentary unjustly winning Best Picture. That being said, though, one thing I will give Hamnet is the performances are deserving. I walked into Hamnet, like, obviously it's one of those things. It's like, oh, it can't be great as everybody say it is and everything like that. And I was like, this is not normally a movie I'm going to gravitate towards at all. But it was like the visuals are phenomenal. It's shot very well. Buckley being the front runner with like shoot no competition right now, I got a little bit of a problem with that. But obviously it's not my choice, but I will say that when it does end up happening, unless we get like a miracle out of nowhere, it's deserved. I like Paul Mescal in it a lot. I like it when he goes all J.K. Simmons on those two kids. That was fantastic. Him doing the "to be or not to be" speech is phenomenal. It's one of my absolute favorite scenes of the movie. The ending is really well done. I'm not big on that little kid because he's trying to pull a Grainer performance out of it, and this ain't Anatomy of a Fall, so that's not going to happen. But he's fine. I'm probably programmed to hate Joe Alwyn for obvious reasons, but he's fine.
he won me over with his performance in The Favorite.
Yeah, I'll give him that. And I, if I remember correctly, AJ, I'm making sure I'm not like misquoting myself. I like Billy Lynn too.
Yeah. We
I
were
like,
we were one of the very few people that gave it a positive review on this
yeah,
channel. Yeah.
that were and still are to this day. But I mean, as it being the front runner for various categories, I'm very split with this. I mean, Buckley's great, and I'm really curious to see her inner Gaga in The Bride.
Yeah.
That's gonna be super fun. Her and Bale, it's gonna be a blast. I can't wait for that movie.
Right. I've just looked at Joe Owen's filmography.
Oh no.
What a 2025 he's having. Not only is he in Hamnet, he's also in Hamlet. So he's
Yes, he is.
literally doing the double.
He's doing the double with one letter between. I mean, technically two, but still.
Yeah, wow.
All three. But no, it's like Hamlet's not really my style movie at all. But I get it. I don't. I feel that I understand why it is where it is. I don't. I guess I see why Buckley is like been projected to sweep this entire season. You might as well just like give her the Oscar right now. Like literally just deliver it to her right now and just be like, yep, yep.
Before people get pedantic, Rose Byrne has a shitload of critics wins.
I'm aware, and honestly,
But
even though I'm not a major mark for, I am a major mark for different reasons. If you know, you know. For If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. That performance is great, and I would love to live in a world where Rose Byrne can win Best Actress. That'd be fun.
yeah, I feel like regardless, because there's times where I'm not gonna stop predicting Rose Byrne or anything,
Certainly.
but Rose Byrne has like almost as many critic wins as like Toni Collette did for Hereditary. So
Right.
we've seen what happens, especially for a movie that you might not say is completely accessible.
Yeah.
So I feel like even if somebody's going to come in and say, "Oh, you haven't seen how many critic wins Rose Byrne has," by saying Buckley's going to sweep, but I feel like the momentum has been with Buckley for a while, regardless of
It,
how much of the showing Rose Byrne has had.
I mean, you've got Amanda Seyfried, which is proving that she's here to be here to be an actual contender, and she's got buzz going for her absolutely insane performance in The Housemaid, which is out right now. And you got Renata Reinsev, which phenomenal in sentimental value. I mean, I'll go to bat for Kate Hudson, 100%. I really hope that goes somewhere. I don't think it will, but I really want it to go somewhere. She's fantastic in Song Sung Blue. And Cynthia Erivo's like, "Hi guys, I'm here too."
I still find it crazy though that not just with the film but the actual book, they purposefully called it Agnes Hathaway because they didn't want people to get confused with Devil Wears Prada Hathaway. That's the only
Well,
reason she's called Agnes in the film, because they were like,
interesting.
that isn't Anne Hathaway. Like, she isn't Ella Enchanted. Like, what?
No, but that trailer for Devil Wears Prada 2 is now everywhere, and I've seen it multiple times, including in front of the housemaid.
But it is funny that that's what they went with. Let me look this up just to remind myself. I'm pretty sure there's 3.
It's Agnes, but it's funny because if you look at the way it's spelled, it's like Agnes. If you look at the casting list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's as far as like Globe nominations,
Mm-hmm.
there are 3 Agneses. Because you've got her, you've got the sister in Sentimental Value, and you've got Ava Victor in Sorry Baby, are all Agneses.
Oh God. whole rule about canceling each other out situation. What if it happens? Tune in next week. Literally.
Yeah, I had my own thoughts about Hamnet.
Do you concur with anything I said, or am I just out on a limb by myself right now like a poor cat?
Probably more than you think, but not completely. I don't know where your disdain for Jacoby Jupe is coming from, and his performance isn't comparable to Grainer's at all, apart from the fact that they're children.
Yes, that's the only comparison.
But and we'll come back to him for another reason, but yeah, as far as Mescal like really resonating and Buckley being like, the thing with Buckley is this is the thing we talk about a lot. We were actually just talking about it,
Right.
where movies are much different outside of award season,
Oh God, yes.
and the most fair way to see a movie is outside of award season.
True.
So, like, I feel like if we saw Buckley's performance in like March, we'd be like, holy shit, she
Yeah.
went all in.
Right after the Oscars are over, everything's fresh in our mind. Just some rando movie I watch on Friday out of nowhere because it's has buzz.
And if she didn't have any buzz and wasn't in the award season, we'd be going, how in the fuck are you ignoring that?
Right.
That should be getting everything. That should be sweeping. So, but now we're caught up in she's been projected to like run away with it for a while now. Everybody in the industry's been putting it over. Everybody's been saying, "Oh my God, you've never seen a performance this heartbreaking." And so you go into a movie with that, and it's hard to, you want to push it out. You really do. But it's in there. So when you see her giving birth and she's like primal screaming, and
Yeah.
when she's primal screaming out of grief, you're just like, yep, there's the stuff that's getting her awards.
Yep.
Like that's how you see it. And it's really not fair to see it that way
Not at
in
all.
the comic awards season, but unfortunately that's just what happens. You're like, yep, there's all the award stuff. It's like, push harder, the Oscar's gonna come out eventually. And so
Which one's gonna be flip?
I found, and I'm wondering if this is what's happening, that you can acknowledge that, like the physicality and the grief screams and stuff like that.
Right.
But the real peak of her performance is in that last scene.
Yeah.
Where she's not being super big. We think she's going to. She threatens to go big, but then she doesn't.
I said I liked the ending.
I love the ending.
I do too.
That is why. Okay, do you remember? This is a weird comparison, but hear me out. Do you remember how I responded to Joker?
Yeah.
Where I was like, I understand the necessity of the first hour and a half.
Mhm.
I don't know that I'm in love with it, but I appreciate the aspects of it and understand objectively how good they are on technical levels and performance levels and all that other stuff.
Certainly.
And then that last half hour comes in.
Yes.
And a new peak happens. As soon as it was over, I wanted to go back and basically watch the last 20 minutes again immediately. And it's really funny that in our last video, you guys were talking about Jacoby Jupe. And I said, is he a sibling of Noah?
Mhm.
And you guys were like, yeah. Number one, I had no idea Noah is in the movie.
Yes.
And who he is playing is brilliant.
It's a Blake and Tommy Wilhoit situation, basically.
he has the one scene you were talking about where Mescal goes J.K. Simmons. He's the one that he goes J.K. Simmons at.
I love that scene so much.
And he's only at, and then he's at the end.
Right.
And I think Noah Jupe gives one of my favorite performances in the movie. But that whole scene though, it's like there was something that clicked of the meme of Frank Reynolds watching Mac dance.
Right.
I get it. with the tear forming, and oh my god, I get it. I'm very curious to revisit the whole movie, especially knowing that that's the outcome, because everything in that first hour and a half is good, but it's also, not only was it what I was just describing, but it was kind of exactly the movie I thought it was going to be.
Right.
When I heard people praising it for what they praised it for, but when I heard people criticizing it for being like grief porn and stuff like that, the first hour and a half is basically exactly the movie I pictured in my head, imagining what this movie probably was.
Sure. Fair.
But then, yeah, that last like half hour or so leading up to the performance and ultimately seeing the performance that's where it kind of goes to another level. And I'm wondering if, like, it feels like I'm just coming out on a high from that ending. So like I said, I'm curious what it does to the rest of the movie knowing that that's what the destination is. If I'll be more invested in that.
I would say, given the fact that I have seen it twice, I will state that the scenes when I knew what was coming on, they hit differently than they did when I didn't have any idea what was going to happen. The whole time I was anticipating Mescal's like scene. I was like, it's coming soon. I know it's coming. It's here now. Let's go. And then the ending hits, and I was just like, as soon as we get to the stage, and basically she has to go center barricade, and if you know, you know, and when that unfolds from the second that it starts all the way to the final scene, it's just very well done. Absolute cinema is a meme. I get it, but I can't deny that I'm not a major fan of you for ruining that Oscar season, but Chloe Zhao did a phenomenal job of directing that piece of business.
Also, it's funny you made the comparison to him being J.K. Simmons in Whiplash in that scene, and it's like it sounds like we're talking about Whiplash by saying, "Oh yeah, the rest of the movie is great, but Jesus Christ, the last 20 minutes."
Yeah, pretty much.
And the fact that it, much like that, it stops right at its peak.
Right.
Like it doesn't, like when we say the lane.
Right before we cut the credits.
It's like an epilogue would have killed that momentum dead.
Yes, for sure.
I don't even know what an epilogue would have been. Them hugging or some shit.
Possibly.
But yeah, there was something else I wanted to say. I don't know. I guess I can go ahead and say it. I was worried if it was going to be spoilery, but I don't think really, without context at least. When you were describing that scene when he's trying to get them to get the words in the emotions that he's feeling in the moment, when you were describing that to me, I was under the impression that's where he did To Be or Not to Be. And I was thinking like, it sounds a little on the nose, but okay, I'm sure it's great. Mescal doing To Be or Not to Be, I'm sure it's great, even though in that context it's like, all right. I didn't realize he does To Be or Not to Be when he's alone.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there it is.
And it's like, I mean, he's standing on the precipice of like the abyss without me giving anything away, and that's what's so impactful about when he's doing it. And then he steps away, and then we cut to the next scene.
And he only does like the first few lines.
That's enough.
And I was like, oh, it would. I suppose actually, I would have been totally on board if he did the whole thing. And it's like, oh no, they were saving the whole speech.
Yes,
we do get it.
Oh yeah, absolutely we do.
With the way you just described it there, Owen,
Yes.
now, just because of you using one word, which is a James Cameron word, I now want to see that soliloquy read in the, especially because it was one of the game trailer things that happened sort of last week, where
Right.
Warframe randomly have a new trailer that's narrated by Werner Herzog. I just want Werner Herzog to do To Be or Not to Be, because I'm gonna be so fucking invested.
Tell me though, without giving anything away at all. I mean, obviously, there's probably different words I could have used, but without context, I feel like that describes it pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, the best I have to go on is Wikipedia, because we're not getting it till January the 9th. So guess what's not showing up in my predictions for best films of 2025, everybody? See you in 2026.
I won't say anything explicit here, but I did just want to say, when it comes to what is a spoiler in Hamnet, I was under the impression that the big event that happens roughly an hour 20 in.
Yes.
I was under the impression that was the plot. Like, I knew that happened.
Right.
And I was under the impression the movie was about the aftermath of that. I did not realize it's an hour and 20 minutes of build up to that.
I did no research into this movie at all, barely saw any trailers for it, and I went into it as blind as I possibly could have.
So did you or did you not know that that was going to happen?
No. I had no clue.
Yeah,
you tease something early on, and I was like, no, this is a false finish. This is not what's going to happen. And then when things happen and it hits harder because it's like, oh, that's actually happening. Oh, okay. Where are we going now?
I'm pretty positive it's in the plot synopsis that they're grieving.
Well, I just heard a lot about the grief aspects of the movie in general. I didn't really do any research because I've seen the trailer several times, but I didn't get a vibe for what they were trying to say. It's like Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights trailer.
Yeah, I was surprised the structure of the movie and thought that was kind of the catalyst of the whole movie. So like I said, I'm not really sure what a spoiler is. So
because
I mean, I guess anybody
because I know of it, it's like I'm if it's what I think it is, considering the title of the film. Then again, to some extent, the sort of the events of Hamnet coming to be has enough of a dramatic thing.
Sure.
Especially when you take into account her history as well.
Right.
Which isn't really explained in the thing, but like, you know, some of the fascinating stuff with like the house that sort of, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it would have been the house that he moved into around that time, which probably isn't depicted in the thing because, you know, well, no, because it's where they moved to when they moved away from London. Like, the only reason sort of they got the house is because uh, somebody wanted to inherit it, so they offed their brother and thought they got away with it if it wasn't for the meddling kids and sort of things like that. So there's enough of a story there. Like,
Now there's two houses. There's the house that we focus on most of the time, and then there's the house in London.
yeah.
And of course, the fact that she likes to live in the woods apparently with a hawk. So there you go.
Yeah. Like the first half of it is like a romance movie.
Yeah, that's what the trailer gave off that vibe completely.
That kind of surprised me. So I guess is this where we go into the shortlist?
Yes.
Well, I'll go through some of the chat stuff first and whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, Bryce says Merry Christmas to you guys. Although there's been some not good news. Rest in peace, Rob Reiner and Adam the Woo.
Yeah, I want to say something about that. First off, to tie into the wonderful Christmas card that AJ shared with us, join us tonight on an adventure, shall you? If you know, you know. So Adam the Woo was one of the like godfathers of YouTube updating, and I was more a Tim Tracker guy. I mean, the and I've told AJ this before. We've brought this up many times. The Tim Tracker and Dr. Jimmy are why I started YouTube in the first place. But Adam the Woo was someone I would always watch. I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times. I met him at Epcot, and I met him in Horror Nights one night. Super nice guy. It's weird because I'm waking up like 4 or 5 times a night now. My body is in shambles. I'm luckily taking a break from my running, so I'm trying to get back to 100% again, which is going to be a while. And of course, I scroll X and everything just to see if there's anything. Obviously, we just got finished with the Prowler tour for water parks. Taylor's End of an Era just debuted today for the last 2 episodes of the docu-series. So it's like I keep seeing things, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, I see that Adam passed, and it came across like a lightning bolt. I will say that I don't know what was going on in his mind, and I don't think anybody will know that. If information is going to be brought to our attention, then it will be in time. But I say this all the time, and I mean it. I think the best way I can say this is I'm very glad the people that I deeply care for, regardless if they share the same feelings or not, know how I feel, because if something happens and I was taken from this world tomorrow, at least they know. So I'll leave it at that. And yeah, my thoughts and prayers are with Adam's family right now. Thank you for bringing that, Brian. I appreciate that greatly. I was going to say something anyway.
While we're on this path, we got to shout out James Ransone also.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
That's it. The details about what he went through have been out there for a while, and he had a really rough go of it.
Right.
And it was also kind of crazy to see that because he's been pretty relevant lately in the Scott Derrickson world.
Absolutely.
And then obviously like a lot of it obviously stuff like Ken Park and stuff like that, and then The Wire, and then I remember when he was cast in It too, and it was like that's such a crazy choice, but also amazing when you think of the movies he came from, and to be in something that big, and to be known for such an eclectic group of things. Um, but yeah, it was one of those things where like if you knew like his backstory and what he'd been going through, it's like yeah, that's just a really tragic thing also. But he definitely left a mark in many different places, so that's
Absolutely.
was going to sort of mention Vince Zampella, co-creator of the Call of Duty franchise and whatever, but
I thought you would, honestly.
yeah, just because I don't feel comfortable about the video that seems to be circulating that maybe depicts the incident. Is
Oh,
maybe
no.
something that sort of
About that.
shouldn't have been put up, but yeah, sort of. If anything, when Vince and I can't remember the other guy left to do sort of their own stuff and do Titanfall 1 and 2, and I guess were partly behind Apex Legends and everything as well. You do feel that the Call of Duty franchise sort of started going downhill, because it always felt like, certainly because of the infamous No Russian level, where you basically are undercover committing a terrorist attack. It was the biggest sort of anti-war message you could have. There was literally a mission where you basically get nuked, and you just play through the soldier's sort of last breaths as he's sort of blinking, in the fallout and whatever sort of thing. And sort of ever since then, it sort of became like it's more pro-war. And then it jumped the shark with the new one that came out, which is like, oh yeah, let's turn it into Far Cry and let's have sort of supernatural stuff and, basically have one boss sort of suddenly turn into a kaiju and things like that. It's like, yeah, this is all real depictions of war now. It's like, back when it had soul and heart. That's what Vince basically gave us, to some extent. Just seeing. So Spencer also mentions Alto Kings Unite. As long as it isn't the Alto Knights, dear God.
No Alto Knights, please. Never again.
Josie was late playing with her little cousins. I see the pros and cons to Oscars on YouTube, accessibility and less limitations with length, but I see drawbacks possibly with ads and what stuff.
Oh, you mean like every time that we do an Oscar nomination morning video, and all of a sudden, and the nominees are, and there's an ad.
That happened during the Globe announcement too.
Yep.
Where suddenly Marlon Wayans was like this, and then he was a really small square over here in mid-sentence.
Bry also says, although this isn't Pop the Question, no, that's next week. First Wolf Walkers on the Cartoon Saloon set a couple of years back, Coda a month or so ago, and now Killers of the Flower Moon coming to Criterion. Where is Tragedy at Macbeth and Causeway? We'll discuss the Criterion stuff more next week, but yeah, pleasant surprise.
Well, it's like we were saying, it sounds like Apple is starting to be willing to commit to physical media. At least it looks like it, so...
Then again, I always find it weird, like, how much of that is Apple and how much of that is Paramount. That might be the only sort of the loophole.
That makes sense.
Bry also mentions, with the Oscars going on YouTube in the future, I wonder with the Academy getting more freedom, maybe Best Original Song gets discontinued since it was more for ABC's category for views. No. Music videos, YouTube music. Get people to, gear towards that.
God, at this point, by the time we get to the 100th Oscar ceremony, we're adding categories. We're going to have 30 categories by the time we're all said and done.
Also, you can't tell me... I mean, obviously this is this year and not 2029, but you can't tell me there aren't people that want live performances of I Lied to You and whatever that K-pop Demon Hunter song is.
Guaranteed gold.
They could do something crazy with I Lied to You's live performance, and I really want to see what it is. The way we saw it was already in one take, so it's doable.
It's gonna be Slumdog as Wally again. One center song and the K-pop Demon Hunters 2 songs.
Right.
They are,
So
Well, when we get to that short list, I lied to you isn't alone.
no, it's not.
right. So
I'm not
so
saying like I actually
clarification,
know.
Owen.
I
How how much of the shortlist do you know?
I know of its existence.
Okay. Right. So we'll run through everything that got announced, even the ones where we probably it's certainly in this first one, animated short
Let,
film.
okay,
It'll
let me bring
be
up my app.
it'll be us reacting to the names of them, and
Okay,
then
so
also
we
trying to
are.
work out are any of these the Pixar one? Like,
I will say that there is a fun Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles short that is on SpongeBob.
so the animated short films in alphabetical order:
Where are they? There it is. Okay.
Autocar, Butterfly, Cardboard, Iryu, Forever
Oh,
Green, The Girl Who
no,
Cried Pearls, Huyakan,
no.
I Died in Irpin, The Night Boots, Playing God, The Quinter's Ghost, Retirement Plan, The Shyness of Trees, Snow Bear, and The Three Sisters.
Yeah, I totally couldn't find any of that. Hold on, once I went to the wrong page.
I mean, there's nothing that stands out as like, what the hell is that name? They're all sort of relatively normal sound.
Regardless what it is, they will be something I will view in my AMC with maybe one or two other people early in the morning on a Friday.
The one, weirdly, the one that sticks out to me is I kind of want to know what cardboard is.
Cardboard. What is Snow Bear?
Yeah, I guess this is the usual. I mean, these all look like pretty serious names. So this is usually the part where we lament when animated short always had like really fun.
Logorama this way up.
Even stuff like fresh guacamole.
Molly,
I feel like everything is like serious and allegorical now. Not that Logorama wasn't allegorical or anything, but uh yeah. But I guess we'll see. We actually don't really know anything about these, right?
I shoot have no clue. These
Yeah, I mean,
tells it
yeah,
all.
I'm sure information's out there about them, but among us, we don't really know what these are yet.
Correct.
Yeah, the fact that I mean, looking at Wikipedia, there's 5 of the 15 that have listings, but none of them seem to be Pixar things, so or anything associated with it. They're sort of other productions. So maybe we dodged them this time. Should be interesting.
Um, that would have been the short that is going to be on Hoppers, and Hoppers is next year. So yeah, I'd say that's not a thing.
Right. Next to casting,
I'm
making
looking
its
at this.
debut. So with this, we have Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Sirat, Weapons, and Wicked for Good.
After, let me go, or do you want to go?
I was just gonna say, if there's one thing that's super appropriate about this, it's if they were going to debut a casting category and there is a Safdie movie in it,
Oh yeah.
that I
You
feel
know,
like that's pretty much seems like a given. That's one thing they're like really. It's like one of their calling cards is insane casting.
insane casting. So I would say the people that win the casting award are the actual actors and actresses in the film, right?
I'd assume the casting director.
It's the casting director that gets it. But if you notice I think with Critics' Choice, what was ensemble has now adapted into best ensemble and casting. So at least in terms
So,
of the Critics' Choice, it's kind of what you're saying, Owen. They're acknowledging the casting, but then also, the cast that delivered the vision of what the casting director was looking for.
so you're telling me there is a chance that we could get award-winning Penn Jillette this season? Hell yes. What I was going to say, AJ, is the fact that the only movie after this weekend that is sight unseen with me is Surratt, and I've seen a trailer for it now. Um, I think that's a movie we need to watch out for.
It seems to be. It's showing up a lot.
It it from what I keep seeing it, I haven't looked at the short list at all yet. I'm literally going like literally on one by one. I haven't oversaw anything or anything like that, but I'm hearing a lot more of Surratt every single time, and it looks like the type of movie that could just. The one thing we always talk about every season is what movie are we underestimating because we don't have it on our radar, even though it probably should be there. I'm thinking Surratt might be that movie.
What I've been thinking about that's really interesting is usually there's just like one or two or three movies that are in the can lineup and then kind of make themselves known in the award season.
Sure.
Mhm.
There's a lot
Yeah.
from the can lineup this year that have continued on. It was just an accident. The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sirach, those were all in and the international shortlist has a lot of them.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering like how legendary in retrospect this year's can lineup is going to go down. And then you've got stuff like Eddington that'll probably age well later
I'm sure it will.
for for certain people if it hasn't already aged well.
Next to cinematography, where the 16 shortlisted films are Ballad of the Small Player. Oh, what it exists? Begonia, Die My Love, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Mighty Supreme, Nouvelle Vague, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Sirat, Song Sung Blue, Sound of Falling, Train Dreams, and Wicked for Good.
Sound of Falling's another one from the can lineup. and Nouvelle Vague.
And I am 5 movies missed on that short list as of this weekend.
I don't know if I ever mentioned when I saw Ballad of a Small Player. It just really came and went, and that's pretty much how Netflix treated it too.
Yeah, sure.
It's really inspired that it's here because obviously Farrell goes all in, and the cinematographer went the fuck all in. That's more or less all it's got going on, but it does. I saw a really good comparison once. Somebody compared it to Only God Forgives.
Interesting.
I think that's pretty accurate. But yeah, it's wild, and it's really inspired that it actually is here, even though it's probably got no shot against the. I feel like we probably know more or less what this lineup's gonna be, but there's a lot of stuff in here that I feel like would totally be contenders in another year.
I feel like we're going to say that a lot this season.
Yeah, because this is a really strong lineup from what I've seen. Owen, you're the one here that's seen Song Song Blue. How do you feel about that inclusion?
You know, I'm going to be that. I'm going to be the defender of that movie, no matter if it's liked or not. I I love it. I love its aesthetic. I think looks great. I just think that there's a lot of people that think they know what happens in the movie that didn't see the documentary, of course, or have heard any reviews on it. But it's surprising. It's very surprising. There's a reason why Kate Hudson's getting buzz. It sucks Hugh Jackman's not getting any buzz, but I mean, this year is just there's so many people who are not going to make it this year because there's so many great performances.
Yeah, actor and actress are pretty intense races.
That oh my god, it takes you on an emotional roller coaster. Like you're singing along to the Neil Diamond music, and you're getting invested in Thunder and Lightning and everything, and their life and everything outside of music, and then the trailer blows the spot, but you don't necessarily know, but you know, and then that
I
goes on.
swear that's the cinematography. Just the reason of the cinematography of right. They got to cut away, right? I haven't seen the film, so I don't know whether they like really go too graphic at it. But like where it is in the trailer, it's like that thing is a bit too close to Kate Hudson.
And the
I don't want to give any just to try and leave it as a mystery for it.
I don't want to give it away, but I will say that may not be the only time that happens either. But
oh no,
you'll see them later on. the reactions are interesting. Yes, exactly. No, there's a moment in the movie at the very end, like when events happen. I don't want to say anything else. This for you, Brian. Events happen, and
women are talking.
Without giving anything away and giving out any context, one of my favorite moments in Popcast history was when Ashley and I did a Ring of Honor podcast super late at night. And we were going over everything, and I was talking, and I said, Ashley, do you have any parting words? And he snored at me. Not in that same context, but imagine that the polar opposite of funny. Something happens that you don't think is going to happen, that they're building and building and building and building, and then it's like, no, it's not going to happen. And then it may or may not happen, and it hits you right in the heart. It's so freaking good. And it looks amazing. The accent's on point, too, honestly. You would not know. I mean, obviously, people that know better would think that Kate Hudson is from Wisconsin. It's so good. And I really want it to do something this season. I don't think it necessarily will, but anything that Song Sung Blue gets. And again, I'm a mark for Hustle and Flow. So Craig Brewer has been somebody on my radar for years. And again, I'm still butthurt we'll never get the Charlie Pride movie. But still, it's really good. And
also,
I'll shoot for its cinematography, absolutely.
Also, shout out to F1 for being pretty consistent in this category. Also,
God, I love that too. Just the racing scenes alone, with like the obviously watching it in Dolby and everything, with the theater just literally shaking, with the engines roaring and everything, and the music hitting hard and everything, and just like you're just immersing yourself, just like Ford versus Ferrari.
It's a documentary feature where the 15 contenders.
I see one right. Hope gets in.
Yeah, we have the Alabama Solution, Apocalypse in the Tropics, Coexistence, my ass.
I want some at an Oscar morning. I just want it to happen.
Come See Me in the Good Light, Cover Up, Cutting Through Rocks, Folk Tales, Holding Liat, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, Mistress Dispeller, My Undesirable Friends Part 1, Last Air in Moscow, The Perfect Neighbor, Seeds, 2,000 Meters to Andrivka, and Yanuni.
We usually say there's that one that does really well otherwise and then gets snubbed shockingly. Are we thinking The Perfect Neighbor might be that one?
I think it's very possible. That's
I
the
mean,
only one I've seen anywhere.
the ones that have. I need to quickly check the BBC Storyville thing because I
Because
swear
the
one of
other
those is
one
one that's been on there, so that probably means it's cursed. So
The
Okay.
other one that's done consistently well is My Undesirable Friends, but that one I feel like is the relevant one that's probably the front runner.
That is 1,000,000% something I can just reading the title, I can see that being nominated.
Yeah.
That
So
seems like
there's
obvious choice that always gets in every single year.
I was gonna say there's two kinds of documentary in the race. The one that does really well and goes on to win everything, and the one that does really well and gets snubbed entirely. And I feel like those two right there together on the list are right there.
Yeah, I can see that being a thing for sure.
Cover Up is done decently as well. And Come See Me in the Good Light.
None of these are seen because there's been. I recall the last time we actually had a documentary in my theater.
yeah,
This was my first time hearing about Coexistence My Ass. This was new to me.
I'm gonna root for it alone.
but yeah, the fact that BBC's Storyville has already shown Mr. Nobody Against Putin either means it's gonna get nominated or it's gonna be. In all honesty,
We got basically a month to decide if we want to put them anywhere.
true.
Also, I'm also curious about these couple that are labeled as self-distributed. I feel like they love nominating stuff that's really fucking hard to see.
Oh yeah, they love
That's
it.
it.
And
The,
people
why do
totally.
I get the feel? Why do I get the feeling those might fall into that category?
Oh, it doesn't have a distributor. It's okay. It's Frank. Frank. Okay, Frank's the distributor. Really? Okay, right on. That checks out.
So for documentary short, we
Go
have
back to that.
All the Empty Rooms, All the Walls Came Down. That's probably why they were empty. Armed Only with a Camera, The Life and Death of Brett Renault. Bad
Another movie that I
Hostage.
feel like sounds obvious to be not nominated.
I was thinking that exact same thing.
And there's one more that I'm thinking of as I read this list.
Bad Hostage. Cashing Out. Chasing Time. Children No More. Were and Are Gone. Classroom
That'd be that
4.
one.
The Devil is Busy. Heartbeat. Last Days on Lake Trinity. On Healing Land, Bird's Perch. Perfectly a Strangeness. Ravina's Choice. And We Were the Scenery.
Documentary short is always the hardest one for me to see because they literally play it across town 2 times during award season. And the last couple years, they've ended up on days that we were doing a show or there was actually a ceremony, so I wasn't able to make them. Just not knowing anything about these, just the titles alone. Weirdly enough, the one that jumps out at me immediately is Cashing Out. Let's see if that ends up
So, in
continuing.
what I can tell you, at least from the ones that I can tell you about, because Wikipedia gives me the synopsis, All the Empty
Okay.
Rooms covers a filmmaker, well, no, a guy and a photographer memorializing the bedrooms of kids killed in school shootings.
Dear God. Oh my God. Stop.
All the Walls Came Down, which is based around the
Jericho.
California wildfires from a year ago.
Not Chris Jericho. Okay.
The Brett Renault film is
The winner.
basically conflict film, cameraman. Chasing Time, which is a nature photographer, getting interesting. I don't know. Classroom 4 is a course taught inside a prison involving students from a nearby college and incarcerated students about. Sorry, not in. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, it is incarcerated students. Sorry, about U.S.'s history of crime and punishment. The Devil is Busy, which is a abortion clinic. Last Days on Lake Trinity, which is corporate cruelty, religious hypocrisy, and a mounting housing crisis for older Americans.
Dear God, can we do something happy?
Oh, well, we got one here because Perfectly Estrangedness is apparently an experimental documentary short, which is. Oh no! Oh God! I'm gonna be obsessed with this one because it's the fucking. Oh no!
Oh,
It's the guy. It's the guy that's been the mentor for this fucking Popcast for however many years. This experimental documentary shows 3 donkeys discovering an observatory in the Atacama Desert. It's the donkey. It's the donkey experimental trippy shit film. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Canada.
All this really serious stuff aside, I guess I'll be the one that points out that most of these are really high in the alphabet.
Yeah.
The Devil is Busy takes us all, like, we're only at D, and that's like 2/3 of the way down the list.
Yeah. And we go from D to H to L.
And then We Were the Scenery was the writer of the thing's parents, who were Vietnam refugees, who, while in a Philippine refugee camp, were random background extras for Apocalypse Now.
I was initially thinking extras in like a theater setting when I saw the title.
Mm-hmm.
Apocalypse Now would not be what I would have come up with.
So then, one of the big ones, I would say, especially because there doesn't seem. It's an interesting list this year. So for international feature, we have Argentina's Belen, Brazil's The Secret Agent, France's It Was Just an Accident, Germany's Sound of Falling, India's Homebound, Iraq's The President's Cake, Japan's Kokuho, Jordan's All That's Left of You, Norway's Sentimental Value, Palestine's Palestine 36, South Korea's No Other Choice, Spain's Sirat, Switzerland's Late Shift, Taiwan's Left-Handed Girl, and then Tunisia's Voice of Hind Rajab. So I would say if you take out the sort of major contenders, which is arguably half of that field, so it's going to be a bloodbath in that respect, there's no country there that really sort of jumps out and goes, that's a surprise country, like we've seen in previous years with Luana, a yak in the classroom, and things like that. They're all countries that have precedent for sort of putting good documentaries together as it is, so, or sorry, a good international feature submissions. So there's nobody that's like, okay, that's a new country, it's interesting to see they get recognition. It's sort of ones that already have, or ones that have got enough momentum already.
Well, the ones that jump out at me immediately are Jordan and Tunisia.
Jordan probably is the one. It's just because Hind Rajab has actually been about in lists.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that because Hind Rajab I think got Independent Spirited.
That name sounds.
Yeah, and Left-Handed Girl's been making a lot of appearances also.
Mm. which then probably means it won't get shown in China because we're saying Taiwan.
Yeah, this one will be really interesting to see what the actual 5 are, because there's so many heavy hitters on this list.
There's so many potential picture nominees too.
Mm-hmm.
They could go really inspired, and the picture nominees are the ones that are on the outside looking in for a change, and they
And
go with something that
to partially borrow a line from Bry, which because I think he sort of brought it up in terms of something. How many of these are going to be, or how are being distributed by Neon?
5.
Okay. For live action short, we've got some good names here as well.
yeah, I like these names.
We've got Ado, Amarella, Beyond Silence, The Boy with White Skin, Butcher's Stain, Butterfly on a Wheel, Dad's Not Home, Extremist, A Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen's period drama, Pantyhose, The Pearl Comb, Rock Paper Scissors, The Singers, and Two People Exchanging Saliva.
So you have one of those weird movies that just literally just people kissing for 15 minutes. How about no? Speaking of how about no, I just looked at the next list. No. Just no.
Well, no, keep in mind, makeup and
I
hair
know
always
why
has
it's
the one
there.
wax makes you go, why? So,
It's the. I will say though, that's one thing I'm not gonna go to bat for it for anything, but if that's the category they're gonna put it in, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Is that I was trying to remember? I knew that was there. I was trying to think. Is that why Spencer brought it up?
Yes. God dang it. Hey, I am happy for some of these other movies here, especially one other movie that is not getting nearly enough love.
so yeah, for makeup and hair, we have The Alto Knights, Frankenstein, Kokuho, Mighty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Battle After
Yeah.
Another, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, The Ugly Stepsister, and Wicked for Good.
It's crazy to see The Ugly Stepsister shortlisted anywhere. That's an insane fucking movie.
Yeah, I'm still butthurt out on it because it didn't line up with any of my plans. And it was only there for a week.
Coco is that the 3-hour one about the kabuki stuff?
I believe so.
Kabuki!
Okay.
I think it's like one of those epic spans like decades or something.
Why is weapons not in here?
Couldn't tell you. I was just commenting recently because my friend showed me where Ed Gamble dressed up as Aunt Gladys for Halloween, and I had no idea it was him until she told me. And it was like between him and Madigan herself, it's like it's kind of insane how much that makeup and wig and the glasses and all that hides a person.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people don't know it's Madigan until she's like sort of unmasked, if you will.
Certainly.
Then, for original score, they whistled it down from 132 to 20. So for score, we
boy.
have Avatar Fire and Ash, Begonia, Captain America Brave New World, Diane motherfucking Warren, Relentless.
Yes.
F1.
By the way, within the awards conversation, Relentless is the perfect name for her documentary.
I completely agree.
F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Hedda, House of
First
Dynamite,
time.
Jay Kelly, Marty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Sirat, Train Dreams, Tron Ares, because it's the only substantial good thing coming out of that film, Truth and Treason, Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out Mystery, and Wicked for Good. I don't know. Considering... Well, no, I guess it's score, so is it...
I genuinely keep forgetting Captain America 4 happened.
Yes. Well, considering the trailer that showed up officially online today for those that hadn't seen Avatar,
Not my
I think Captain America 4 might be coming in Doomsday.
You were just straight up like throwing me under the bus when you said that, didn't you? Actually.
Well, no, I still wonder why Disney was like, so the big reveal, we're just going to put in the trailer and kind of ruin the last 20 minutes of the film.
It's not even really 20 minutes, it's like 10.
Yeah, whichever, but it's like, it's supposed to be all sort of this big build up, but you just give it away literally from the very first. It's not like you kept it as a surprise for like the second trailer. You literally just gave it away like practically with the teaser, like, okay, that's a decision. No wonder Harrison Ford hasn't made any movies since.
I am very displeased with the fact that even on a short list, Angel Studios gets any love.
At least it isn't for David.
Oh, we don't talk about David. Friggin' bumping the housemaid out of the second position is ridiculous. People are sheep.
That's Angel Studios for you.
I hate Angel Studios.
It's the closest they've come to Sound of Freedom.
Oh.
Well, no, in the respect of, like, I think that box office was elevated because of the whole pay it forward thing that Angel always tries to do with their stuff.
Yeah, buy tickets for your friends and buy them for your church groups and everything. But they appeal to, I like to say the lowest common denominator. They appeal to their demographic, and that's who goes out to see movies, and that's why this happens.
Yeah, the whole thing where it's like, don't donate your money to actual causes. Keep giving us that money. That's what they're saying.
Set in a theater with 48 people you will never see again.
Then again,
I am happy with it, though.
The fact, though, that we're getting what film is it again? Yeah, they're the ones that are distributing Andy Serkis's Animal Farm, which is the least religious film I can. Yeah, George Orwell was like, "This isn't about religion."
I know, but I'm not giving them any money. I literally gave the money back when their god awful, whatever you want to call their kids' animated movie, was a secret movie. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this. I leave. As soon as I saw the Angel Studios logo, I just dipped out.
Hasn't it also already been confirmed that it's not even really a real adaptation of Animal Farm? They basically just made it another animated kids movie. I think I heard that.
That's what happens when you get a script from Nicholas Stoller.
Oh wow.
AJ's reaction there was like, the fuck?
That's the first time I heard that.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was like, what is it with Andy Serkis and getting bloody terrible scripts to direct? Breathe might be the only one that was good. Because Mowgli was a mess of a script. The Venom sequel was a mess of a script. And at least from what I've seen of the trailer of Animal Farm, I don't know what Nicholas Stoller's done to Animal Farm.
Well, they got him fresh off the Kool-Aid movie to write it.
Oh. Oh, what the heck happened here?
Oh.
Okay.
Right. So
Once again, love for Nuremberg makes me happy.
Right. So to original song,
Oh, this is an interesting list.
we have "As Alive as You Need to Need Me to Be" from Tron Ares,
That's right.
from Nine Inch Nails. Dear Me from Diane Motherfucking Warren's Relentless. Dreamers 1 from Avatar Fire and Ash, so hi Miley. Drive from F1, hi Ed.
Yep.
Dying to Live from Billy Idol Should Be Dead.
Is that Command or something? What?
The Girl in the Bubble from Wicked for Good.
I the only Wicked song.
Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters.
High winner of the competition.
Highest to Lowest from Highest to Lowest. Then the one time that I can do it, because alphabetically they're next to each other, I Lied to You and Last Time I Seen the Sun from Sinners. Then we jump back to Wicked for Good with No Place Like Home. One that will probably please AJ, Our Love from the Ballad of Wallace Island.
I love Wallace Island.
Salt Then Sour Then Sweet from Come See Me in the Good Light.
Thanks for coming.
Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi. And
Also,
Train Dreams from Train Dreams.
I was about to say, usually, back in the day, a documentary one regularly made it, but I forgot. That'll be what Diane Warren spotted. So she's getting the Diane Warren spot and the documentary spot in one go.
Yeah. It's all happening.
It's funny because it's weird going against F. I hate saying this, but it's weird going against Ed and Miley, but I have to because I feel that fifth, and I hate the fact that it's going to come at the hands of the expense of Wallace Island, which I absolutely love and not enough people saw. But I feel that it's pretty, at least right, looking at this list, I think the 5 is pretty obvious, honestly. But my question is, if they don't go for one movie in this category, is it something going to double up, or are we going to get a surprise? And I feel like we get a surprise.
Although, with the fact that we do have the track from Come See Me in the Good Light is co-written by Brandi Carlile. Is she the next Diane Warren? Because that's like 2 years in a row, I think, that's like she's had a song that made it in.
I mean, I'd say the 5's pretty set in stone if you really want to think about it, but it depends on if they go heavy on something and then something ends up having to double up. And that really depends on the direction they go, and it's not like we have a precursor or anything, so it's like, all right, this may happen, but it probably won't.
I feel weird not knowing this off the top of my head. Last time I seen the Sun, is that the end credit song to Sinners? The credit roll?
I believe so.
Hang on.
But
that would make sense.
I have not seen in a while.
That would make sense since he literally says the line "Last time I seen the sun" right before the credits roll. I feel like that would make sense.
That makes sense.
Says here, last time I seen the sun is Alice Smith and Miles Caton. And then, I see traveling. I can't remember what how much of a score sort of carries over to the thing.
We talked about last season how it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna go nuts for Arrivo, they're gonna go nuts for Elphaba, the movie, and everything like that. And it's you fast forward to a year later, and the buzz is going to Ari in every way possible. She's the one that everybody's talking about. And on top of it, her song is the one that sticks out like a sore thumb as being the one that's getting nominated.
I still don't really know where Wicked is because I didn't know anything about Wicked until the movies came out.
Certainly.
So all I kept hearing during the last season was, "Oh, the first one will just do whatever, and it'll be the second one that really takes off." And oh yeah, Revo's definitely going to win for the second one. Everybody's just waiting for the second one.
What we were talking about last season.
But here's the thing though is that that's what I heard when the first Wicked came out.
Right.
Cut to Wicked for Good comes out, gets kind of a lukewarm reception, and everybody says, "Oh yeah, it's known that the second part of Wicked has always been lame."
Yeah.
It's like, what? What was all that build-up talk last year?
I think, well, yeah, well, I mean,
They were curious to see how John M. Chu was going to handle the Wizard of Oz stuff. Because that was sight unseen.
that's
I mean,
the aspect, because the second half of the musical is roughly an hour. So
Yep.
trying to take a story that's told in an hour or so and bringing it to what, it's like 2 hours 20, I think, ish. Wicked Part 2.
It was it was 8 under 3 hours with trailers. Yes.
Let me just quickly hang on. Wikipedia, tell me. Yeah, 137. So we're talking about 2 hours 20 minutes. So
Yes.
only half of the existing stuff. Or, yeah, only half of what we get in the film is taken from existing stuff. We are doing a lot of padding and whatever to sort of fill what would be a cinema runtime.
Certainly.
And by the way, I don't want that to be misconstrued. There's actually a lot of stuff in Wicked for Good that I like. But I'm always been vague on exactly what's original and what's from it. When I say original there, what I meant was originally from the source material versus what they came up with to lengthen it.
That to me, that kind of it confuses why. I'm pretty sure Wicked was also in score, but like it's weird how Wicked can get into score when score's obviously supposed to be original material, but more so with the first one than the second, because obviously there's a lot of incidental music that's got to be added. Because again, it's half the it's double the runtime of the actual musical second act. How much somehow envelops over and isn't sort of considered that's just cribbing off the original or the West End Broadway, whatever you want to call it, production.
Yeah, that's like how I always get confused when musicals are in contention for screenplay. When the music and the spoken word are two separate things. And when a lot of musicals are mostly music, I don't know how that works, but I guess it could always come down to the fact that we have learned over many years that there are a lot of people in the academy that seem like they have no idea what they're voting for. So it probably is.
Right.
Fair. Fair. Next to sound, where it's the usual suspects, arguably. We have Avatar, Fire and Ash, F1, Frankenstein, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Sirat, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, Superman, and Wicked for Good. So yeah, Surratt's here. The fuck?
That first Springsteen performance and Deliver Me From Nowhere that I've seen twice now, I get right there why this is in sound. Or
I'm
potentially.
I'm I'm stuck on how you managed to sit through Deliver Me From Nowhere twice. But okay. I imagine the music helps a lot.
Oh. Well, and I'm not a mark for Springsteen either. But then again, I wasn't a mark for Dylan. But then again, being in the being with the Cypress Brothers for as long as I was hanging out with them, I got Dylan driven into my head. Plus, I got to see him live, so Complete Unknown was always going to hit for me. Deliver Me From Nowhere, I was just excited to see what Jeremy Allen White was going to pull off.
Very true.
And the continued domination of Jeremy Strong, no matter what anybody thinks. Maybe, well, speaking of movies that are interested to be here, visual effects.
Yeah. The 10 films remaining to get whittled down to probably 5. Avatar, Fire and Ass, The Electric State, F1, Frankenstein, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, Sinners, Superman, Tron Ares, and Wicked for Good.
To be really honest about something, it's really not the best movie at all by any means whatsoever, but there is one movie that I am thrilled is here.
Electric State.
The visual effects in the Electric State are insane. I'm really glad.
I mean,
I was thinking it might go overlooked. I'm really glad it's at least here, and
yeah, I don't think it's going to go as far as Ex Machina, but again, I feel this is the sort of to steal the tagline of one of the video series from Stop Skeletons from Fighting. It's punching its weight. This is the little engine that could.
It should absolutely be in the 5.
To some extent, well, I mean, there was kind of a budget still to Godzilla -1, but like again, it's sort of the one that sort of it's the little film that's going up against the usual blockbusters.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, because isn't Electric State like one of the most expensive movies ever made or something?
Yeah, weirdly.
but like, but I love that because especially being a Netflix movie, you just expect it to look really cheap, and it looks incredible.
Thanks, Russo brothers.
They didn't bother with anything else like a script or anything.
Yeah.
Or casting anybody with charisma.
Okay, there was a relatively big name cast, but that 320 million, you can probably tell it went probably just on the CGI and the visual effects. Not much else.
That's like it. It's like I still don't think it looks that expensive, but I'm glad it looks expensive for once. But yeah, it is like you just said though that Godzilla -1 looks expensive too, and the creator looks expensive too, and they're not. But yeah, I'm just glad that it made it here.
And looking at the press release and whatever that I've seen, it makes you realize how quick the Oscars is. Because apparently the nominations for nominations in all categories, not just the shortlisted ones, open on the Monday the 12th of January and close on Friday the 16th.
Oh, wow.
There's literally like 4 days, and then like 6 days after that is when January the 22nd, when they actually make the announcement for who's actually nominated.
That's crazy.
So the conclusion we're going to come to is there's probably going to be a shitload of people that don't even make that deadline. Which could possibly give us interesting results.
I mean, looking at the press release, I'm just seeing, so because there's a little bits on each of them. So in animated short, oh no, okay, I'm just, yeah. So for casting, Academy members will be invited to do excerpts and pre-recorded interviews with casting directors on the 9th and the 10th of January in LA and London and New York, respectively. And then there's also, where's the other bit where that's mentioned? Yeah, makeup and hair is doing the same. Excerpts and interviews on Saturday, January the 10th. And then, yeah, sound has a similar thing. And visual effects also has a similar thing. Basically, those 4 categories have got like not preview, like excerpt screenings to sort of I guess the for your considerations, they're all allowed to sort of submit stuff forward, so people have got something fresh in their mind when the voting opens that following Monday. In the other categories, who knows?
Have we reached the end?
It appears to be the case.
Yeah, I'll briefly run through some of the stuff in comments. If it's not related to awards, I'll try and sort of leave it unless it's something that's going to be sort of important. Josie says happy that Bigoni was still shortlisted for the score. Bry mentions biggest loser of the shortlist, possibly Testament of Anne Lee. Sort of not really showing up in too many places, including
Seems
with
like
song, because there was a chance that it should have got in for song. So, Josie says get Penn and Teller to host.
My God, that'd be incredible.
Spencer said 1500th watch of Pacific Heights. Going into 2026, I think we should all thank AJ for Pacific Heights.
Oh my God.
Josie says I'll never look at Modelo's the same way again. Trying to work out. I'm guessing that's their one battle reference.
Yes, gotta be.
Yeah, come to think of it. Kugler seems like a chill guy. I want to hear Jay Muse singing Few Small Beers. Hypothetically, if Chalamet and Buckley both win, both the leading acting winners would both be the same star sign, being Capricorn, similar to how last year's leading performance were both Aries.
Interesting.
Josie will be catching Marty Supreme and Sentimental Value with her brother over the holiday break.
Nice.
Josie says she likes the French pronunciation of Agnes better, which is apparently Agnes.
That's what I said earlier tonight.
It's the French. My friend who I saw Hamnet with said a funny MST3K line with Hamnet would be, "Good luck tonight, the boss's wife's in here."
Nice. Well, I just saw Mike Nelson directed movie earlier this week too, so there you go.
Josie watching Pluribus on Apple Plus. That's only worth mentioning because John Cena, John Cena's scene in that is like, "Hi, we are John Cena." Like, the what?
That's not. You're talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night. That's not the same guy, right?
I'm pretty sure it is.
What?
That would be really interesting because Mike Nelson directed Silent Night, Deadly Night. I don't think it's the same guy, but if it is, my head's going to explode.
Hold on, let's go. Give me a second. Oh, that's really
I'd
not
like to
helpful.
see Vince Gilligan or Mike Judge collaborate with the Safdies. That'd be a trip. Imagine Beavis and Butthead in the audience of Hamnet. How would Statler and Wardorf respond to Hamnet?
Not very favorably.
God, I don't want to kill that vibe. That'd be-
No, but that's the I. It's Mike Nelson. I didn't realize it's the same dude that did Wrong Turn in VHS.
Okay. That's
But
sad. I didn't think it was the same guy.
I was excited for that.
Oh, Mr. Top
But
Hat.
I like.
Mr. Top Hat, hello. I haven't seen
What
you
up,
in a
Gabriel?
minute.
Long time no see.
Snow Bear's pretty damn good. It's on YouTube. And Bry mentions it's apparently made by Aaron Blaze, who did Brother Bear at Disney, and apparently made the short all by himself.
Huh.
Oh, Mr. Top Hat also says the narrative of weapons having to replace almost every single actor will probably push it quite a way in the casting stuff.
Yeah, I feel like Weapons has got a good spot in that category.
Josie mentioning Sound of Falling made it into cinematography as well as international short.
I'd say especially anything with children at the forefront would be a pretty good contender for casting.
Love the Begoni mentioned cinematography as Josie. Nouvelle Vague could be a sneaky contender given the black and white nature of it.
I mean, as long as the other Linklater movie to the forefront, I don't care.
They do love throwing black and white movie into cinematography.
Right.
Bry makes a semi-good point in My Undesirable Friends Part 1 Last Air in Moscow could get snubbed. Or sorry, no.
Yeah.
I'm assuming is the front runner if Perfect Neighbor does get snubbed. Apparently, My Undesirable Friends is 5.5 hours. So it's basically
And
OJ made in America there.
Yeah, and that's a part one. Okay.
With the Alabama Solution, one of the directors is Andrew Jarecki, who obviously did Capturing the Freedmans and a few years back. Apocalypse in the Tropics is from the director of Edge of Democracy. Come See Me in the Good Light is from Ryan White, who did Goodnight Oppie. That obviously was one that had a lot of buzz and missed 3 years ago. Cover Up, one of the directors is Laura Poitras, who was behind Citizen 4 and All the Beauty and Bloodshed. Folktales directors are Heidi Ewing and Rachel Grady, who did Jesus Camp. And we know who 2,000 Meters to Adravika is. Yeah, Top Hat just says donkeys, you say in all caps. God damn it. Bryce says, I'm curious if no other choice is vulnerable because it didn't do well on the shortlist specifically, not getting sort of anything other than international feature.
I'm not sure where this narrative that no other choice is going to do much of anything started, and I still don't subscribe to that idea at this point.
People probably had knee-jerk reactions to its Globe turnout.
That would make sense.
But it being in comedy probably had a lot to do with that.
Yes.
Bryce says Late Shift could be a Dark Horse nomination, and it does star Leonie Benech. Or Bench, is it?
I think it's Beanish.
Beanish. Because it says if Late Shift does get nominated, Beanish could be on the road to an Oscar nod for something in the future. So I guess it's that much of a star-making performance. Josie says disappointed Blue Moon didn't make the shortlist.
Yeah, that sucks.
I didn't like Wicked's nomination last year, but ironically, I'm rooting for Good to win this year. Says Top Hat. After the Globes, I was going to go with surprise Oscar prediction for picture and original screenplay, but with it missing the shortlist, especially casting, I took it out of my predictions, says Bry, including a snub for Hawk. I'm guessing that's for Blue Moon.
Much as I hate to say it right now, it wouldn't be a snub because there's so many people that are going to miss this year.
Top Hat says, I think the eyes of the victims were CGI that could have hurt it in the makeup category. Do you know what that's in relation to?
Weapons, you mean? That's what I feel like that's what you're
Maybe,
talking about.
Yeah. Oh, Parsnip Burger.
Is it weird? When you brought up weapons for makeup, I only thought about Madigan. The eyes didn't even occur to me. The bulging eyes.
That's the first thing that popped into my head.
Bry says, oh, sorry, no, Parsnip. Good to see you again as well, Parsnip. My Undesirable Friends Part 1 was called Best Film of the Year by Alonso Duralde, and I hope it's not only nominated for Best Documentary but wins. Bry says, with how many sequels and somehow Wicked for Good being eligible when Dune Part 2 wasn't last year, maybe the Academy should bring back Best Adapted Score.
I was thinking about that when we were having that conversation. That was a category at one point.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Top Hat going Nessa, Dr. Dillamond, Fierro.
Not my Fiero. Shout out Jordan.
Yeah, Brian mentioning that the other writer along with Belinda Carlisle is Sarah Bareilles for Come See Me in the Good Light. Josie wishing us a Merry Christmas, and Top Hat with the Merry Chrysler, because of course.
MerryCrisis.com.
Top Hat says, for a song to be nominated, it has to play during the movie or be the first song in the credits. Anything after that isn't eligible. Bry says, like last year with Clarence Macklin not being able to make it in for supporting, but did getting an adapted screenplay for Sing Sing. Maybe that's what Miles Canton's fate's going to be. Doesn't get recognised for his acting, but possibly gets a nod for co-writing the script. Parsnip saying, I knew the Wicked musical very well. Never even won the Tony when it came out, because Avenue Q did that year.
Yes, it did. Love Avenue Q. Why can't we get Avenue Q adapted for the big screen?
Most people thought the story would be altered, not keeping to the same as the musical book, but also when I say most, I mean the people who knew the musical. In truth, many had no clue about the musical until it was released, which is kind of a shame. Odd how Tron Ares did decent on the shortlist but couldn't make it in for sound, despite Tron and Tron Legacy making it in for sound. Alonso Duralde, who I trust a lot, along with Christy Lamaya, hated both Wicked movies. Wow, that's a... and then, like
Knowing
13...
both of them,
go ahead.
I said knowing both of them, I'm actually not surprised they hated Wicked.
Bry also saying, like 13 Lies and Civil War, it's odd that Lost Bus gets visual effects, but not sound. Which is, I guess, fair. Parsnip saying, I haven't seen the shortlist. Are they a big difference in the long list if there was one? And do they share acting performances? Because I might have missed it, or is it just craft? Yeah, it's pretty much crafts, but then they're sort of the shorts and the international ones. But then it's not all the crafts, because there's no editing, there's no costume.
Do we haven't always had a cinematography shortlist, have we? I feel like this is new.
Uh, possibly.
I could be mistaken, but I feel like it doesn't feel familiar.
Bry also noticing that Warfare didn't even make it in for sound, despite
Yeah, that's
it's a
kind of
Warf.
shocking.
Yeah, that is, come to think of it. Considering it, does that mean Avatar's the war movie in that list?
By default, I'd say so.
To some extent. With it now in the shortlist, don't be surprised if the critics blindly just select Sinners and then give it the win for visual effects over Avatar. But that's the correct answer. That's harsh because visual effects might be the only thing that Avatar sort of has going for it. Because story wise, I felt it was a little bit too similar to like elements of both one and two.
Oh, thank you for giving me an even worse reason to watch it.
I mean, from what I hear, the only thing that sort of, at least on the acting front, that's really important is actually Una Chaplin's contribution. With the other stuff, it gets sort of complicated, and it's like part of me wonders whether James knows where the script is going, or whether he's just writing it and sort of bringing it. Parsnip saying, "How do people know about Riseborough that year? Wasn't there a list of something of potential nominees? Not that was put out, at least officially, by the Academy, but no doubt there's sort of, I don't want to call it a Deadpool, but I feel it's like something like that. There is a list that sort of goes around Hollywood of like, these are the ones that are in contention, and that's where the sort of campaigning probably comes in to some extent.
I was thinking with Riseborough, wasn't it just in like entertainment news that she was doing her own campaign, and that kind of just gained momentum because that drew attention.
Yeah, to some extent, but then it didn't seem like it was mostly it wasn't sort of her doing the legwork with that. It felt like, oh, it was at such and such party, where it sort of seemed more like the people hosting the parties were the ones that sort of were championing it more than Riseborough was, I'd argue. Parsnip also mentioning Christy was okay with Wicked, not sure if she loved it, but Alonso expressed sincere dislike for both. So yeah, I think that leaves us with nothing else to talk about. I don't even want to acknowledge Variety for sort of saying some of their options for the worst movies of 2025. All right,
I haven't seen that list, but it came across my feed a few times. I
yeah,
didn't look at it though.
considering one of the people did not like Life of Chuck,
Oh,
and one of them did not like Testament of Anne Lee. One of them did not like what was it? Anemone. Daniel Day
I
Lewis's one.
didn't like it either.
There's Hurry Up Tomorrow, which makes sense. There's FNAF 2, which makes sense because I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed 1.
There's no way it's one of the worst movies of the year though. This year there's been some bad stuff to come out this year.
I was gonna say if you really, more often than not, a genuine worst of list will be probably stuff most people haven't heard of.
Yeah. One of the two reviewers for Variety said one of the 5 worst was Presents.
Oh, these people need to shut up now.
And then somehow the dishonorable mention, so it wasn't good enough to make it in the list, was Snow White. Like, we shouldn't be giving Disney any sort of leeway for the mess that production became. We shouldn't.
I mean, Snow White's also just beating a dead. Snow White was beating a dead horse before it even came out.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I don't think there's. I'm trying to think. What are the big? Okay, so Testament of Anne Lee's opening Christmas Day for you guys. Mighty Supreme is Song Song Blue and the Anaconda. I think
Yeah, there's one of those movies
three
on
of
McLaren.
those could be in Oscar contention in some shape or form. And then there's Anaconda.
I'm not getting in Lee for Christmas Day for me.
No, but I know it is opening, so
It is. I just
obviously,
don't have access to it.
we're not getting it till 20th of February. So I get for us, it's literally last minute, so it just gets in contention for BAFTA.
It's like no other choice, and it was just an accident. They don't have release dates.
Yeah. So yeah, we will be returning next week for a bumper, a bumper week to some extent.
Yeah.
Do you want to go through the itinerary for everybody, Owen, so they can
Yeah,
synchronize watching?
on that. Yeah, so we've got Sunday night. We'll be doing our Critics' Choice predictions. Monday, we're going to be doing our final Oscar predictions of the season. Now, on Tuesday, we're going to give you guys one last hangout so we can all discuss everything and we can talk about things one last time before 2025 ends. And right after that, we get into barrel down the hatches. It's time to do videos a lot. So there's going to be a lot of podcasts on this channel. Like
There's
Ashley mentioned earlier, we've got the Golden Globes shortly after that, too. And then a recap show.
There's also something we keep forgetting to mention.
You want to mention it now?
We might as well.
Sounds good.
This is gonna sound really random.
We trust us. It's not.
Would it? I mean, to everybody that's not us, it is pretty random. But there's usually that gap in award season. I'm not sure where it is now, but usually I think it's between SAG and BAFTA. There's usually like a week or two where nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever that gap manages to lie, we're gonna do a random retrospective of the year 2009 in movies. Obviously, that's quite random, but we had a pretty memorable movie year in 2009, and we just kind of wanted to reminisce about it. So it's not related to the award season or anything. We're just kind of doing it just to do it. So that's going to be at some point wherever like that sort of middle break in the award season is.
We got some fun stories to tell that we haven't. Some we probably have told on here before. Others we definitely haven't ever touched on here.
So yeah, the BAFTAs are February the 22nd, which would be the actual penultimate major award ceremony. We still have. I'm trying to see. So the week after that would be the PGAs, and then the week after that is the WGAs. Yeah, SAG. There is so weirdly, if we leave WGAs for some sort of thing, at least in terms of broadcast ceremonies, there is that sort of gap between the 1st of March and the 15th of March. So it'll probably be in early March, thanks to the Olympics.
Yeah, and then we've got. Did we already mention the 3 days in a row next week?
Mm-hmm.
Just did.
Okay. All right, then I'd say we're done, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we. In terms of other content, we're sort of covered as well. I filmed and need to upload in the next day or two part one of the McDonald's. Well, I say Christmas. The other part of the stuff isn't really Christmas. It's just it coincides with the Christmas menu. So both parts of them will be coming to you hopefully within the next week.
Mm.
From myself, at least. Owen's got plenty of sipping snacks on the burner.
Yeah, I haven't dropped anything in a while. It's all been nothing but voices content lately.
Mm-hmm.
But after I've got at least a couple weeks left of that, and then I've got a ton of sipping snacks, a lot of voices content, the normal water parks video coming in July to coincide, like it always does every single season. AJ's got content coming in the near future.
The two speaking bluntly's are my priority at the moment, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, we've got potential Wicked reviews coming soon.
The link
Lots.
later.
Linklater double feature. Ashley can be found on X at Ash is my name UK. I can be found on X at Zero and Disney. And I will make sure I keep everyone up to date on the videos. So we will not have live chat for Sunday and Monday. That's what Tuesday's for, I guess. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I had no access to the chat tonight because I've had to have my phone charging because it took forever to get back from KFC because of my feet bothering me today. Like I always say before, and I said this last time, and I'll say it again. It's like always tell people how you feel because you never know when it might be the last chance you get to. In the meantime, stream any minute now. Water Parks really needs to be something big by the time Park 6 comes out next season. If you are a Swiftie like I am, the End of an Era documentary is up in all parts 6 on Disney Plus. Yes, I'm actually putting over a streaming service because I have to. AEW's got a great pay-per-view coming up this weekend I'm super excited for. We're on Festivus. I think we aired a lot of grievances. No one's pinned me, and there is a poll somewhere in this room. So I feel like that's a good way to end the show. So as always, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Remember to always have the best day ever. 'Tis the season after all. And that's all we got to say about that.
Very good. Bye.